Just testing out the microphone, getting ready. I don't know nobody's here yet. Testing out the microphone, getting ready. I don't know nobody's here yet. People are here. Are you hearing feedback? Just settling in here before we get started here, guys. Okay. War on protein. This struck me. This is extremely important. And I've brought this up to many people. I don't think many people are paying attention to before we get into today's videos, but there is a war against protein. If you've all noticed that we've had the culling of chickens, culling of cattle, all because of so-called diseases and everything else. And so what the point of all of that is to push all of us, obviously, into processed foods. And it is actually nice to see somebody in the White House that is going to make America healthy again by ending the war on protein. Because there is, without question, there is no doubt that there is a war on protein, and that is why so many people are sick. That's why so many people are getting cancer, because multi-billion-dollar corporations are pushing this unhealthy food and the culling of chicken, beef, and fish and everything else. So I kind of want to bring that up. I'll come back to that again at the end of the show, but I did want to start out with that because I thought it was extremely important. Now, being in the insurance industry, this story is about a man who's suing Toyota. Or he is alleging that Toyota is tracking not only his movements, where he's going, and everything else, but also how hard he's braking, speed, all kinds of different things when it comes to his vehicle, and that those analytics are being sold to a company who then is selling that to insurance companies. So let's listen to this story. It's pretty crazy.
Tapping into your ride. And this is 10 Tampa Bay News at 11. I'm Dave Wagner.
It's good to have you with us. I'm Courtney Robinson. With all of the technology and modern cars, you might wonder if your ride is spying on you.
Tonight, 10 Investigates Emerald Morrow has the first sit-down interview with a Polk County man who says a major automaker is taking your personal information and selling it to third parties without your consent.
In many ways, most cars today are like computers on wheels. But how much information about you are they really tracking?
This Polk County man believes what he found should concern you.
The privacy violations are abundant when it comes to this. If it's not actually handled and litigated right now, it can only get worse.
Phil Sifke filed this class action lawsuit in a Texas court accusing Toyota and affiliate company Connected Analytics Services of collecting and selling private information to third parties like Progressive Insurance without permission.
Now, here's the thing. Now, some people, and I don't think they mentioned this in the story, but insurance companies can give you, I think they had, I don't even know if they're doing it anymore. People in the chat can let me know if they are. But you would have this thing that you could plug into your car and it would send data to the insurance company. But of course, you had to give permission in order to do it. But apparently, according to this story and why this guy is filing a lawsuit, is because the car itself is actually sending the information to this analytics company. This is wild.
But we're not just talking about speed or location, although that concerns him too, but everything down to how hard you braked, your seatbelt status, even image and voice data.
Well, let's put it this way. If your insurance company has access to your data that your local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies have to have a warrant to get, that should automatically throw a red flag up to any consumer.
Phil says after buying his 2021 Toyota RAV4, he went to sign up for insurance and found Progressive already had a comprehensive driving profile, including a hard brake just the day before.
So you see how the logo has a plastic lens over it?
So he started searching for answers.
This actually is a radar sensor. Toyota actually gathers the data from the telemetry that's in my vehicle, meaning the camera, the speedometer, the time, the GPS, everything that the car has the capability of accumulating, and gathers that data. And then they transfer that to their division Connected Analytics, which then sells it to any third party that's willing to buy it. In this case, Progressive.
Our investigative team reached out to all the parties named in the lawsuit for comment on these claims. Progressive said it does not comment on litigation, and we never heard back from Toyota. But Toyota alleges in court records that Phil activated connected services for his vehicle and accepted Toyota's connected services terms of use, which contained an arbitration provision and class action waiver. Records go on to say when he accepted the Toyota app's terms of use in March of 2021 and March of 2024, he would have seen a screen like this, disclosing that by hitting accept, he agreed that on a regular and continuous basis, his vehicle wirelessly transmits location, driving, and vehicle health data to Toyota and its affiliates in order to deliver connected services and for internal research, development, and data analysis.
That's unbelievable. Now, those of you, tell me in the chat who owns Toyotas. You know that there's other car companies that are doing this. So any of these internet connected cars are going to be sending this data. And of course, what happens is that you have to sign the arbitration agreement, which essentially means you can't sue them. And they're very unclear. You can't tell me by reading this that is clear. That, by the way, we're going to take the information, your driving data, how hard you brake, how you drive, and we're going to send it to a company that may send it to insurance companies. Obviously, that's not clear. That's very vague. And what do? We are always, these companies take advantage of you by just giving you these agreements, and they're like, look, if you want to use your cell phone, you have to agree to this. And this is where, by the way, and I'm not sure if the administration is getting involved in this. So if you want to be a real good presidential administration, you end this kind of shit, where you go to these companies. This is corporate. This is cronyism when it comes to from the free market. And these companies that are crony capitalism is the word I'm looking for, where they take advantage of the consumer and back them into a corner and essentially say, well, here, you're going to have to sign these agreements, otherwise you can't use our product. And that's what they're doing here, is they're saying, well, you can't, this, I bet you, and we'll find out more about it maybe in this story or down the road, that the connected services is like an SOS kind of thing. So if you get into a crash, it notifies emergency services, which is something that you should have, especially if you're, with today's technology, if you get into an accident or something like that. But then what they do is they say, well, if you want to use that service, you have to agree to all these other terms. Otherwise, you don't get to use it. That's criminal as far as I'm concerned.
Data is the new oil, the new gold. Largest companies on the face of the earth don't make anything. They take consumer data and they use it for profit.
John Yanchunas is representing Phil in this case. He says if successful, this class action suit would be a win, but only a first step.
There's a tremendous amount of absence of legislation to protect consumer privacy.
Privacy he and Phil want lawmakers to defend.
their moral obligation when they take the oath for that office is to do what's right for the public and their constituents.
The Consumer Federation of America says there are benefits to telematics, like lowering costs for those deemed to be good drivers. And
that's a lie, and you know that that doesn't happen. And I can tell you why. The reason that that's BS is because it doesn't matter if you're a good driver or not. What we end up paying for as consumers, especially when it comes to insurance, and this needs to change, is the fraud. So we'll get into immigration and things. There's a lot to cover today. But when you get into services like insurance and things like that, what ends up happening is you have just massive amounts of insurance fraud that take place. And then what ends up happening, and this is not just insurance, it's a lot of industries, that the people who commit fraud end up costing everybody, even if you're a good driver or not. And even the bad drivers. What ends up happening is not only do you have outright fraud, but then you have people who don't have insurance. And right now, with the way the economy is going, the economy is only getting worse, and more people are going to go out there and drive without insurance. So if they get into an accident, which those people are probably more likely to get into an accident, and there's no insurance, then we all as drivers, good and bad, have to pay for it. Because really, just like us who are paying taxes, the ones who are paying taxes are the hard-working middle-class taxpayer. And those people end up having to pay the cost of all the fraud, all the criminals, all the illegal immigrants, even legal immigrants that don't know how to drive, and all the people who don't carry insurance and everything else. So, James, buy older vehicles is your best bet that you can actually fix yourself. And that is true, because that also gets into the, I don't know if you're familiar with the John Deere issue. I did a video, by the way, that got several thousand or a few thousand views on YouTube. Make sure you guys subscribe, by the way, all of you that are here. The subscribe button at the top there, be sure that you subscribe, because every time I go live or if I post another video, you'll be notified. But one of the stories I did was on BMW. So BMW actually created its own bolt that has its own sort of head at the top, which is their logo, and only BMW authorized repair shops, which is, the dealer essentially, they're the only ones that can turn those things, because they'll have special tools in order to do so. John Deere is another one where you essentially have to take your tractors, if you're a farmer, to John Deere, because the software is so proprietary that you're unable to take it somewhere else and have your John Deere looked at or repaired. And so a lot of companies are doing this, auto companies as well. And now we're getting into this with, it's just amazing what these companies can get away with, because none of them are being held accountable.
And could be a more fairer assessment of risk than the current pricing models that penalize customers for their marital status, job title, credit score, and other socioeconomic factors. The group also does acknowledge concerns with privacy and exaggerated savings claims. If this concerns you, there are steps you can take to be more informed. If you enter your VIN number on this website, a group called Privacy for Cars will generate a free report on what data your car might be tracking.
You need to make sure and verify your privacy settings, whether you've agreed to let them share them or not, because if you have agreed to let them share them, and apparently in my situation, even if you haven't agreed, they are reselling that data to insurance carriers. And if you don't think that's impacting your rates, yes, very good chance that it is.
Phil says he hasn't had a ticket since 2017 and no accidents for even longer.
And yet my insurance rates are as high as what most people, if not higher, would pay for having a DUI.
What do you want to come out of this?
I want people's
and that's where all of that, you cannot tell me that, bear with me guys. You cannot tell me that that you're not paying for all of the terrible drivers, because you are. So here's a perfect example. A guy hasn't had a ticket since 2017. and so he's still, he says his payments are just as bad as somebody who had a DUI. I think there's a lot of people in that situation who have auto insurance that are paying huge amounts because, once again, are paying for all the fraud and all of the bad drivers. So I don't think any of this stuff really matters anymore, but I think they're looking for any excuse in order to jack up rates, and it has to stop.
Privacy protected. And I'm going to deviate a second and give you a bit of an example. Everybody has a device sitting beside their bed right now, whether it be their phone, whether it be the Alexa or Siri or whomever. Yeah. If they collected that same data and it was readily available, they now know everything about you. And I ask you, would you let me put a camera with sound inside your bedroom? Be careful. Who might end up with that data at some point?
I mean, think about all of the stuff that we all have, like the cell phone in and of itself. I mean, people are saying if they're thinking about buying something, so some people are saying, I haven't even said a word and somehow it knows that my watch died and I need to buy a new watch, or I need to get this or that. Or if you're searching for things, it knows, your phone knows exactly what you're searching for. But then you have these Alexa devices that are listening to, they're listening to everything you're saying. Smart TVs are listening to everything you're saying. The Apple Watches, I would never in a million years wear one of those things, especially with the radiation and everything else. But just imagine all the data and everything that is being collected by that. It's crazy.
You put it out there, somebody's going to claim it's their First Amendment right to sell it, that it's open to the public.
What's up,
Emerald
Captain?
Morrow, 10 investigates.
A judge recently ruled the case must go to arbitration, but Phil says he wants to avoid this and is working with his team to see if there are any other options. He wants the class action case to proceed to potentially benefit consumers like you.
And this is not the first case against an automaker for these types of privacy violations. Earlier this year, the FTC reached a settlement with GM that would ban the company from sharing geolocation and driver behavior data with consumer reporting agencies for 5 years.
This is crazy. I mean, it's just a crazy. Captain, what's up? Choosing Happiness, James, Min, thanks for being here. Remember, everybody that's listening and watching, be sure to subscribe. And you'll be notified every time I go live. I'm going to be going live more frequently, trying to figure out the best times to do it. So I appreciate all of you that are sticking around and watching. And there's several different stories I'm going to go through today. This one in particular, because it's related to insurance and it's what I do, that a lot of these companies now are tracking everything you're doing, even your own car, which you never would think in a million years that your car would actually track everything that you're doing. And, the other thing, too, is one of the things that they mentioned in this is if the guy did a hard brake. Well, if he did a hard brake, maybe there was somebody that stopped short in front of him, somebody pulled out in front of him. How is that data actually analyzed? So it says, oh, well, he broke, he braked really sharply. Maybe the camera wasn't disconnected, or is the camera smart enough to send both the car pulling out in front of him? I mean, I don't think it's sophisticated enough, unfortunately. And we see how bad these algorithms are. We also see how bad this artificial intelligence is right now. It's got a long way to go. It is simply not very good. At this current time, there's just a lot more improvement that needs to go on. So can it be reporting erroneous data? Absolutely, it can be. So I want to move real quick to a couple of things. This is an address by Tim Walz, who has decided after everything that's going on that he's going to get out of the gubernatorial race for Minnesota. Let's see what he has to say.
My fellow Minnesotans, what's happening in Minnesota right now defies belief. News reports simply don't do justice to the level of chaos and disruption and trauma the federal government is raining down upon our communities. 2,000 to 3,000 armed agents of the federal government have been deployed to Minnesota. Armed, masked, undertrained ICE agents are going door to door, ordering people to point out where their neighbors of color live. They're pulling over people indiscriminately, including U.S. citizens, and demanding to see their papers. And at grocery stores, at bus stops, even at our schools, they're breaking windows, dragging pregnant women down the street, just plain grabbing Minnesotans and shoving them into unmarked vans, kidnapping innocent people with no warning and no due process. Let's be very, very clear. This long ago stopped being a matter of immigration enforcement. Instead, it's a campaign of organized brutality against the people of Minnesota by our own federal government. Last week, that campaign claimed the life of Renee Nicole Good.
Okay, so now here we go. Essentially what Tim Walz and everybody else wants is the halting, the stopping of rounding up people who are here illegally, breaking the law, and removing them and sending them back home. That's the whole point of this. So the leftist violence and everything that you're seeing has to do with stopping what ICE is doing. And if you talk to enough lawyers who are on the side of the truth and other federal officers, I've said this in a million other live streams. Myron Gaines, who's very popular, a lot of you probably know who he is. We go on the same X space. They all basically say it was a clean shoot. Now, they say it was a clean shoot. But then you're seeing all the violence now. I don't know if any of you are watching all of the live streams, especially on TikTok. Those live streams, by the way, all that violence on TikTok are allowed to stay up. But if anybody else talks politics, I won't even go live on TikTok because I know at some point it's going to get taken down. But there's just so much leftist violence. There's so much, if there was a video yesterday of a bunch of people breaking into federal vehicles and taking guns out of the vehicles. And they caught the guy that did it. And he was a gang member, by the way. But there's so much of this violence going on. And then you see the mayor of Minneapolis and now Tim Walz, if Tim Walz was not guilty of something or at least just unbelievably incompetent, he wouldn't be dropping out of the race.
We've all watched the video. We've all seen what happened. And yet, instead of conducting an impartial investigation so we can hold...
Guys, we got a lot of people in here. Be sure that you subscribe. That way you know when I'm going live again. And it will be, if you do subscribe, your information will, not your information, but it'll let us know that you subscribed. So it would be greatly appreciated. We've got a lot of people in here.
Accountable, the officer responsible for Renee's death. The Trump administration is devoting the full power of the federal government to finding an excuse to attack the victim and her family. Just yesterday, 6 federal prosecutors, including the longtime career prosecutor leading the charge to investigate and eliminate fraud in our state's programs, quit their jobs rather than go along with this assault on the United States Constitution.
They weren't doing anything in the first place. There have been reports from DOJ and other lawmakers that people knew about this fraud for years. In fact, one of the daycare centers was in business, I think, for over 15, 20 years. So this was well known. And I think that's where a lot of this may end up going. Let me know in the chat what you guys think. That I think ultimately what may end up happening is that these guys were involved, like Ilhan Omar. What's the mayor? I forget the mayor now. I got to look it up. But the mayor of Minneapolis and Tim Walz. That those guys may have actually known Jacob Frey, what was going on, and either just ignored it or were involved in it. And I think there needs, without question, there absolutely needs to be an investigation into those guys to find out why did you let it go on so long. And here Tim Walz just says it out loud. Well, these people who are involved in investigating this stuff have quit their jobs. So could it be that maybe they ignored what was going on for so long?
But as bad as it's been, Donald Trump intends for it to get worse. This week, he went online to promise that, quote, the day of retribution and reckoning is coming. That's a direct threat against the people of this state, who dared to vote against him 3 times, and who continue to stand up for freedom with courage and empathy and profound grace. All across Minnesota, people are stepping up to help their neighbors who are being unjustly and unlawfully targeted. They're distributing care packages and walking kids to school and raising their voices in peaceful protest, even though doing so has made many of our fellow Minnesotans targets for violent retribution. Folks, I know it's scary, and I know it's absurd that we all have to be defending law and order, justice, and humanity while also caring for our families and trying to do.
There's been no law and order in Minneapolis at all. I mean, it's probably one of the worst states. What used to be a great state, Minneapolis as well. But you just have this. I mean, George Floyd took place. I mean, all of this stuff and the violent protests and all the things and the crime and everything else that's going on there. You know, this has to do with this leadership, and then they want to make it seem as if when the federal government has to go in and clean stuff up because these guys ignored it for so long and didn't do anything. The ones that come in and clean it up are the bad guys, and no one's listening to this stuff anymore. You know, people have had enough of all of the crime. They've had enough of all of the fraud and everything else. The middle class taxpayers just absolutely had enough. And that's why so many people are just saying, you know, go in, clean it up, do whatever you have to do. But people like Tim Walz are going to go and say the ones doing the job cleaning it up are the bad ones. And that's not the case.
Do our jobs. So tonight, let me say once again to Donald Trump and Kristi Noem, end this occupation. You've done enough. Let me say 4 critical things to the people of Minnesota. 4 things I want you to hear as you watch the news and look out for your neighbors. First, Donald Trump wants this chaos. He wants confusion. And yes, he wants more violence on our streets. We cannot give him what he wants.
So the violence on the streets, if you see a lot of the video, the violence comes from the leftist protesters that, by the way, let me know what you have to say about it. But I mean, it's really not in dispute. The violence really, truly is coming from the protesters. And we all know that the protesters are being paid. We know that the protesters are organized. This stuff has a pattern of behavior that you see over and over and over again, ever since the summer of love, and even before that, when Trump was in office before, that they're paid protesters by certain billionaires like George Soros and Alexander Soros. These people are getting paid to go out there and cause chaos and cause damage and burn things down and all that stuff. We all know that. And so to call someone like Trump that he's the one who wants this, it's a lie. And we all know, anyone with room temperature IQ knows that that's not the case. That's not true. It's these paid protesters. And couple that with all of the additional videos of all of the illegal immigrants that they came into this country illegally. So they broke the law just coming into the country illegally. Okay, so that hands down that's a problem, obviously. Then on top of that, they are stealing, in a lot of cases, stealing identities in order to be able to work. Then you have the violent criminals and all that type of stuff. And everybody, even on the left, is saying, well, we got to get rid of the violent criminals, but then you got to keep everybody else. But the people that ICE is going after are resisting arrest. And we've, because of the left and the protesters and everything, they've made resisting arrest normal. That it's okay to resist arrest. If an officer tells you to get out of a car, or if an officer pulls you over, it's now okay. Our culture has changed to a point where now you can flee from police, you can fight with police, and that's okay. And so now what ends up happening is you have these people who are illegal immigrants. There's plenty of other videos of them ramming their cars into federal vehicles and resisting arrest. So not only do they come in here illegally, steal identities, the amount of money that's spent on health care, on taxes, other federal services, SNAP benefits, et cetera. But then they're like, well, I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm going to stay right here. I hate you. I hate America. I hate white people. And if you try to arrest me and make me leave, I'm going to resist arrest with violence. And that's what's happening.
We must protest loudly, urgently, but also peacefully. Indeed, as hard as we will fight in the courts and at the ballot box, we cannot and will not let violence prevail. You're angry, I'm angry. Angry is not a strong enough word, but we must remain peaceful. Second, you are not powerless, you are not helpless, and you are certainly not alone. All across Minnesota, people are learning about opportunities, not just to resist, but to help people who are in danger. Thousands upon thousands of our fellow Minnesotans are going to be relying on mutual aid in the days and weeks to come, and they need our support. Tonight, I want to share another way you can help. Witness. Help us establish a record of exactly what's happening in our communities. You have an absolute right to peacefully film ICE agents as they conduct these activities. So carry your phone with you at all times. And if you see these ICE agents in your neighborhood, take out that phone and hit record. Help us create a database of the atrocities against Minnesotans, not just to establish a record for posterity, but to bank evidence for future prosecution. The third thing I want to say to you tonight is, we will not have to live like this forever. Accountability is coming at the voting booth and in court. We will reclaim our communities from Donald Trump. We will reestablish a sense of safety for our neighbors, and we will bring an end to this moment of chaos, confusion, and trauma. We will find a way to move forward, and we'll do it together, and we'll not be alone. Every day, we are working with business leaders, faith leaders, legal experts, and elected officials from across this country. They've all seen what Donald Trump is trying to do to our state, and they know their states could be next. And that brings me to the fourth thing I want to say tonight, Minnesota, how incredibly proud I am of the way that you've risen to meet this unbearable moment. But I'm not at all surprised, because this is who we are. Minnesotans believe in the rule of law, and Minnesotans believe in the dignity of all people. We're a place where there's room for everybody, no matter who you are, or who you love, or where you came from. A place where we feed our kids, we take care of our neighbors, and we look out for those in the shadows of life. We're an island of decency in a country being driven towards cruelty. We will remain an island of decency, of justice, of community, of peace.
No, there's nothing about his island where you're running daycare fraud in Minneapolis and ignoring it for really decades and taking taxpayer money, and now saying, well, when somebody wants to come in, the federal government has to come in and fix it, that everybody is, they're the bad guys. And then people like me, they call me a bad guy because I'm pointing it out. And so once again, this just comes down to people who these are communists, and the people that are for this are communists, and the people that think that what Tim Walz is doing and what the ICE is doing is bad, then they're communists and they want to destroy the United States. And it's obvious. And they're the most violent ones, you see the most vitriol coming from those people that are in the chat. And so what ends up happening is, thanks, Frank, that you just see this just like vitriol and violence. And you see people in the chat, we're going to take you down, we're going to do this, and it's like, it's just the same old stuff. And people are tired of it. They're just not listening to it anymore. They're just, they're fatigued with all of the crime and the support from the left and the violence from the left and the word from the left. They're just over it.
Peace. And tonight I come before you simply to ask, don't let anyone take that away from us. Thank you. protect each other, and may God bless the people of Minnesota.
So, all right, let's take a look at all right. I want to go to Grady Judd, and he has talked about this in the state of Florida, and it'll be interesting because he's a guy who loves to be on camera himself. So let's listen to what he has to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being with us today. It is my honor to host our CFO, Blaise Ngolia, for this press conference and to introduce him. Here's what I know. He is the man. I see about this fraud and waste, and you're seeing it in Minnesota about all this fraud. That doesn't happen here. What happens in Florida is he investigates them, puts them in jail, and they're prosecuted. He keeps Florida safe. That's why we're glad to stand with him today. But before I turn it over to our CFO, I want to introduce my county commissioners that are here, Bill Braswell, Becky Troutman, and Rick Wilson. Thank you all very much. When in this county we need help, they're the ones that have my back, along with their two colleagues that couldn't be with us today. That's why crime's at a 54-year low. So, commissioners, we couldn't do what we do without you. So thank you, and thank you for being with us. Blaise?
Sure. Sheriff, first of all, thank you for the hospitality, and thank you for everything that you do, along with you guys up here, keeping the community safe, and the deputies in front of me. Just appreciate everything.
Just a little bit of background. I don't know if he's going to get into this or not. We won't watch the entire thing because it's an hour long, but this guy has gone through every single county in Florida, and they've done audits and seen how much fraud and abuse has been basically spent in all of these different counties. And so he's really taking the reins and doing a really good job. And those of you also may not know that Governor DeSantis is trying to eliminate property taxes in the state of Florida as well. And if they're able to rein in a lot of this fraud, thank you, Rebecca, that it should make it easier in order to eliminate property taxes in Florida.
You do. First, before we start on the press conference, I was aware of another incident involving law enforcement last night that happened in Minneapolis again. And look, I'm for the people who know me know that I don't bite my tongue very well. And when I see stuff like that, I get very angry and frustrated at the lack of leadership in some places of the United States, definitely not in Florida, because I think we do things different here. We take law enforcement very seriously.
And he's talking about Tim Walz and how Tim Walz handled Minnesota. And can we all just admit that Tim Walz is not running again because he knows it's over for him? So, all the people defending him and all the vitriol that's coming out against, I'm not a MAGA guy, but for people who support what's going on and support law enforcement and federal law enforcement, to hear all the attacks on them and, what's going on with the paid protesters, the violence from the protesters, what this guy is essentially saying. Thank you, John. That, hey, look, we don't run our state like that, and they don't. It's a lot more serious here. They don't put up with that kind of shit here.
Prioritize law enforcement. The things that are going on in Mississippi and more particularly Minneapolis, they're just an absolute travesty. In my opinion, Governor Walz should resign in absolute shame for everything that's going on with the level of fraud and corruption that we're seeing in that state. And for Mayor Fry, that guy needs to resign also.
100%.
He is creating an environment where residents now think it's okay to attack law enforcement. This would not have happened if it wasn't for a woke mayor of an area getting on TV, making excuses for people to create crimes and inflict pain and harm upon law enforcement. Both of those guys need to be out of office, and out of office quickly. The people of Minnesota and the people of the city of Minneapolis deserve better than to have those two buffoons leading that state and that city. I just have to say that. I just have to get that off of my chest. We do everything that we can here in the state of Florida to protect our law enforcement. I don't think you would ever find anyone here in this state getting on TV demonizing law enforcement, especially the way Mayor Fry, whatever his name is. He needs to go, and he needs to go yesterday. So, again, thank you, Sheriff Judd, for having us here today. My name is Blaise Ngolia. It is an honor to be the CFO of the great state of Florida. I'm also happy to be joined here today by Sheriff Nacco, Pasco County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff, thank you. Sheriff Al Nihais. Sheriff, thank you, from Hernando County. Major Ryan Brown, Sarasota Sheriff's Office, thank you for coming here. Colonel James Chip Roberts, Hardy County, and Chief Ruggiero from the Port Richey Police Department. I'm going to go over a little about the history of illegal immigration and sort of how we got here to this point. In 1986, Congress, with the backing of then-President Ronald Reagan, passed the Immigration Reform and Control Act, otherwise known as ICRA. It was supposed to be a landmark law that granted illegal immigrants amnesty, but at the same time was supposed to strengthen border security and strengthen workplace enforcement. So what happened? Almost 3 million illegal immigrants were granted amnesty, and the enhanced immigration enforcement that was intended never, ever happened. In fact, over time, we had seen that the immigration laws were weakened, creating an opportunity for more and more illegal immigration. Foreign nationals, people in other countries, saw that the United States just granted amnesty to 3 million illegal immigrants with no follow-up enforcement whatsoever, which incentivized even more illegal immigration. For decades, immigrants crossed over our borders illegally, while states in the U.S. created programs to supposedly help them. Now, eventually, so many of these states expanded these programs so generously that the programs themselves acted as magnets, attracting more and more illegal immigrants to this country. It was a recipe for disaster, and that disaster came in the form of the de facto open border policies of the Biden administration. Under Joe Biden's watch, illegals flooded the southern border. We went from a promise of illegal immigrant enforcement that never came to Border Patrol being sidelined by open border leftists and pro-amnesty policies, allowing anywhere in total about 17 to 21 million illegal immigrants eventually entering our country illegally. Why? Because they receive generous public assistance at the taxpayer expense. In fact,
so let me clarify the poll, because I didn't do a good job asking the question. So the question is that what's going on in Minnesota okay or not from a standpoint of, is it okay for Trump to be sending in ICE to remove illegal immigrants? So is that okay? Yes or no? Not, is it okay for okay or not for the violence against the ICE agents? I want to clarify that, so I probably do another one. But But yeah, is it okay for Trump to send in ICE to do their jobs to remove people that are here illegally? Yes or no? Is that okay or is it not okay? That's the idea of the poll.
You guys have seen this just recently, a couple of years ago, that many illegals were being housed in New York City in hotels. Think about that. Not taking care of our veterans, demonizing law enforcement, but yet putting people come over to this country illegally in nice hotels in New York City.
Mike, you're right. I'm going to redo the poll. And I know I'm going to get blamed for... but that's my fault. I didn't do it right. Let's see here.
City. In many states, illegal immigrants can receive free health care, free education, free legal advice, food stamps, unemployment, reduced tuition, driver's licenses, auto insurance, law degrees. Think about that. An illegal immigrant could become a lawyer in places in the United States when they were promising and swearing to uphold the laws of the United States, when they broke the law actually getting into this country in the first.
Hey guys, by the way, if you wouldn't mind, there's a lot of chats in here, way too many to read. So if you want me to read your chat, please consider, you don't have to, but please consider super chatting. With the super chats, it helps support the channel. And then it also, I can at least kind of find, or it's a little bit easier for me to read particular chats on air, but there's just too many of them right now for me to do every single one. And we had up to 600 people in here. So if you wouldn't mind, please consider that. I appreciate it.
Place. Why, with all of this, would someone want to wait 10 years and spend $50,000 or $60,000 to come to this country legally when they can give $10,000 to the drug cartels and get humans smuggled over the border to become an illegal in this country? Why spend all that time, energy, and money coming here legally when we are incentivizing people to come over illegally? While Biden and his cronies allowed illegal immigration to wreak havoc on our country, Florida understood that any incentive for illegal immigration had to be removed, and we had to be bold in leading the nation against woke open border policies. That's why we worked hard to ban sanctuary cities, enhanced criminal penalties for human smuggling, and added human smuggling to the list of crimes allowed under prosecution under Florida's RICO's Act. We stopped the issuance of driver's license and community IDs to illegal immigrants. We implemented mandatory DNA testing for illegals who commit crimes to get them in a database. So if they committed a crime, a more heinous crime later, we would already have their DNA. We mandated that hospitals start tracking how much money was spent on delivering health care to illegal immigrants. We stopped in-state tuition for illegal immigrants. We said that everyone had to, if you're a business, we mandated use of E-Verify for everyone. We stopped.
You see the difference between the two states? And let me know in the chat, preferably super chat, what you think about that. So you have a state who's cracking down as much as they humanly can on illegal immigration. And then you have Minnesota on the other side, where they were allowing in Minneapolis all of this daycare fraud to basically flourish. So let me know what you think about that. Do you think that is Florida wrong for cracking down on illegal immigration? And maybe you might think that illegal immigration isn't being cracked down enough or too much in the state of Florida. But do you see a dynamic? Do you see a difference between how Minnesota handles it and how Florida handles it? Let me know in the chat.
The practice of any illegal immigrant getting a law license here in the state of Florida. And probably most importantly, and one of the reasons why we're here today, mandatory 287G, where we have a partnership with the federal government and our law enforcement, the guys and the gals standing behind me and in your communities, so we can rid our communities from the criminal element, those illegal immigrants who are here commit crimes. But thankfully, we are living in a new age with new leadership of accountability and law and order. The days of the open southern border are over. When President Trump took office last year and gave Florida the full support of the federal government in rectifying the...
So, Heather, do me a favor. Let me know, because a lot of people have the same, and I'm not coming down on you, I'm just asking you a genuine question, because a lot of people say this. I'm curious from a perspective of someone saying that the ICE isn't doing it humanely, like exactly what should they be doing? Because a lot of people armchair quarterback and say, well, they need to do it this certain way. They're not doing it the right way, blah, blah, blah. And you might not have been here when I said there is a lot of resistance, a lot of resisting arrest that's going on in Minnesota, where those who are they're trying to deport are resisting with violence. So my curiosity is, what is a humane way of doing it other than how they're doing it now? Now, I did get someone give an example. Well, we need to have checkpoints. This was somebody who is a prominent person in one of the Twitter spaces said, well, we need to have checkpoints all over the U.S. My argument to that is, well, you could have that, but the problem is that you're going to have violent leftists that are attacking people and agents that are at those checkpoints as well. So I'm just curious from everybody that's in the chat, how would you handle it in so-called humanely or in your way? I'd like to know what you guys have to say about it.
Illegal immigration prices. Florida took that support, took the ball and ran with it, and continued to create the blueprint for other states to follow to ensure the safety and security of our citizens. We worked to get legislation passed so that all law enforcement agencies could be 287G certified and have the capabilities to assist federal law enforcement with removing illegal aliens from our streets. Since I have become CFO, I have placed a renewed emphasis on our Department of Financial Services Criminal Investigations Division to ramp up our efforts to work with ICE and arrest criminals.
Thanks, Nikki. I appreciate it.
Criminal illegal aliens in our state. Not only do we prosecute white-collar crimes and fraud, public assistance fraud, we're actually assisting our law enforcement partners in putting away criminal illegal aliens. Our officers are actively working with ICE to find illegal aliens with active deportation orders and turn them over to immigration authorities. Additionally, our investigators have extended their local support to local law enforcement agencies to augment resources and manpower when conducting anti-illegal immigration operations. Since I took office, our DFS investigators have arrested 53 illegal aliens, of whom 11 had prior charges for sex crimes. 10 were charged sex offenders. 1 have been charged with the possession of child pornography, and 1 has been charged with kidnapping. Now, those crimes did not have to happen. Those victims did not have to be victimized. But because of the Biden open border crisis, they were. And to continue to take away magnets and create disincentives, we have proposed again, yet again, major legislation to continue to keep our foot on.
Okay, do you guys want me to continue with this? Or do you want me to move on to an entitled college professor calls 911 on herself? And it kind of goes into the mentality of some people out there, and of course those that are in our universities. So let me know in the chat if you want me to move off from this video to the police video, or stick with this one. Let me know. I can come back to Let's watch
911, where's your emergency?
I'm at Kent State University. I need to get into my building, please.
Okay, is this an emergency? Can you look up the non-emergency number?
I need to get into my building, please.
Okay, I need you to look up the non-emergency number and contact the Kent State University Police
I need to get into my building, please.
You need to contact the Kent State University Police Department. This is not an emergency.
What is it? I need to get into my...
You're going to need to look it up, ma'am. I'm going to let you go.
I don't know what it is.
After the college professor repeatedly abuses 911, demanding an officer, she eventually gets her way.
I'm the school director of the School of Health Sciences.
Gotcha.
I'll show you my driver's license, which is in the car. Can you get me into the building, please?
So this is a director of a college in Kent State. So, this is, where a lot of you are sending your kids to in the university system. And I'm curious to see what everyone has to say about the university system and whether or not getting a college degree has the same validity as it used to. So, 20, 30 years ago, getting a college degree meant something. And I don't think it really matters all that much anymore. Let me know what you all think about that. But what's scary is having somebody like this as not only a director, but a university professor.
Go pee?
Sure. Do you have anything to drink today?
I had a drink.
You had a drink?
A drink.
Okay. Because I can smell a little bit of alcohol on you.
I can smell a little bit of alcohol. That's fine. You can.
Okay. 328. I'll take it back.
I had a drink in my colleague's office. That's fine.
In your colleague's office? Where was that at?
In the annex.
Okay. How'd you get over here?
I walked.
You walked over here?
Yes,
okay. I'd like to give you a couple tests just to make sure you're good to go because I don't want you driving if you've been drinking.
Sir, I'm fine.
Okay.
I agree. Getting a trade right now is probably way more valuable than a college degree at this point. And I do feel bad for the younger generation. Let me know what you have to say about it, because the younger generation, they get these college degrees and then they go out and try and find a job. You can't find a job. And let me know if you guys are hearing out there, how is it very difficult to get a job? From what I'm hearing, it's almost impossible. Job market is very, very bad, but you're not hearing it in the media for some reason. I'm curious to see if you guys are hearing the same thing.
Well, I can smell it on you, and you're not able to use a card to swipe into the door. So it's
Sir,
a little.
this is not working. This is not working. Can I go pee, please?
Well, here's what I'm saying. You're trying to swipe two cards at the same time, which kind of shows me that you're lacking some motor functions. I wouldn't want you to.
Can I go pee? Can I pee, please? Please.
Yeah, here, I'll let you in to pee real quick and then we'll talk, okay? Do you have someone you could call?
My husband.
Okay. Do you want to go pee first and start working on calling him?
No, I don't. This is not okay.
What's not okay?
That you're going to call my husband.
No, you're going to call him.
I'm fine.
I don't think you're okay to drive.
I think I'm okay to drive. I have a Tesla. Sir.
Just because you have a Tesla doesn't mean it's not going to drive itself.
Sir, I'm going to call your captain in a minute.
That's fine. You're not going to drive out of here.
You're not going to be okay.
Is there a bathroom back here you're using?
I'm sorry?
Is there a bathroom in this office you're using?
I'm going to go over there. I'm the school director of the School of Health Sciences, and I'm going to be okay.
Okay. We're in office 100.
Sir, I'm okay, and you're going to be okay, and I'm going to report you.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm fine.
Okay. I just need you to call somebody for me before I go.
I'll be fine.
She's 2-4.
Okay.
So she said she walked here though, but she's planning on driving home. She's okay to drive because she has a Tesla. I said, no, you need to call somebody. Okay. So I don't think you can get out to the parking lot that way. Yeah, she's trying to swipe like two cards at the same time to get in. No, you're not driving home.
Okay. Tesla's gonna drive her home?
Yeah, I was like, just because it's a Tesla doesn't mean it's gonna drive itself home.
Even if it is one of the self-driving models, you can't?
OVI laws are not caught up to that.
Right. Where'd you get drunk? She's still wearing all of her stuff.
She said in her colleague's office, the annex.
I mean, unless she's crawling out the window. I mean, the window, there's definitely windows right there.
Dude, if she crawled out the window and got in her car.
I can see her in her office.
Because What's that?
I'm going to call Captain Getman right now. I'm going to call Getman. You're harassing me right now. I don't appreciate it.
No, I'm just making sure you get home okay.
I'm going to be okay.
Okay. Well, I just need to make sure you call somebody here because I don't want you driving home.
I'm going to call Captain Getman from Kent.
Who's that?
The captain of Kent, if you don't leave me alone.
What's his name?
Captain Getman of Kent. I'm going to go to the bathroom, and you're going to leave me alone.
I'm just going to give Mike a call real quick and just let her know what's going on.
Go in the bathroom, and you're going to leave me alone. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to go to the bathroom, and you're going to leave me alone.
We're going to stay here.
I'm missing a best part that's out there.
It fell down out there?
Yeah. He's going to leave me alone, and I'm going to go home and go pee, and you're going to leave me alone.
Okay, but you're not going to drive.
I'm going to drive home.
Okay, ma'am, you're not going to drive.
I'm driving home, and you're going to leave me alone. I'm fine. And you're going to leave. I have water in my car. I'm fine.
I don't care if you have water in your car. If
My
you're
husband
intoxicated.
is in Shaker, and he had surgery, and I'm fine.
Ma'am, I understand that.
Do you want me to walk? I'll walk. Walk.
Nope.
No, you're going to leave me alone. My husband just had surgery, and I'm driving
Okay.
home. Sir, you're going to leave me alone? Do you want me to take a breathalyzer? I'll do that for you.
Nope, don't have one.
What?
I don't have one.
Sir, you're going to leave me alone? I'm fine. I'm going to the bathroom.
Okay.
You have no right to not let me drive home.
Actually, it is our job to not let you drive home if you're intoxicated.
I'm not intoxicated.
It's literally our job.
Okay, you are going to leave me alone. I'm going to call the Kent City Police right now.
Okay. Feel free.
I will. I have worked. You can leave me alone. Look, I could not get in the building because you locked my building.
We didn't lock your building. It locks automatically.
Okay.
So we did you a service by letting you in here.
Okay, I could have driven home with my cap and gown. So can I go pee, please? Because
I never told you you could.
I don't know how many times she's going to ask to do that.
Then go ahead.
Jesus Christ. I've worked here for 28 years.
I understand. She's pretty fired up.
She gotta go to the bathroom.
Doesn't matter now. She said, we're going to leave her alone. She's going to drive home. Yeah.
What is your problem?
Ma'am, I just really need you to call someone.
Okay, I will call someone.
Because you can't drive home, okay?
Okay, why do you think I can't drive home?
Because you're intoxicated.
I'm not intoxicated.
I can tell you are.
Why?
But several reasons.
But
Your speech indicates that you're intoxicated. Well, I can explain it to you if you want.
I'm driving home.
No, you're not.
Have a good day.
Please call somebody.
I will.
Okay.
I'll call somebody.
Can you do it right now? Because we gotta go.
Okay. Have a good day. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ma'am, this is your last chance to call somebody.
Okay.
Hey, do you understand that your Tesla driving, like the self-driving function, doesn't cover you for OVI?
Okay.
I just want you to understand. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay.
So can you give me my other card back?
I don't have your other card.
I'm not intoxicated.
Well, I think you are.
I'm glad you think I am, but I'm not. You can have a good day. Thank you very much.
Okay. Can you call somebody for me?
Sure, I will.
Can you do that right now?
I will. In my car.
Ma'am, listen,
No, you're not gonna go to your car.
you've been here a long time. Please don't tarnish your own reputation by doing.
I mean, at this point, what do you do? You know, and by the way, this kind of goes back to what, you know, all law enforcement are dealing with. You know, and some people will say, well, the ICE agents aren't law enforcement, so they don't have to listen to their commands. But look at this. These guys are just saying, they're giving her so many chances. And she just keeps saying the same thing over and over again, obviously being drunk. But she insists, like, she's going to get in her car and she's going to drive away. And she doesn't have to listen to the cops. That I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to do whatever the hell it is that I want to do. And that's the problem.
Doing this because we are going to arrest you if you try to leave here and drive your car. I promise. Like, you're going to be arrested, and that is not what we want to do.
So my husband is home.
Okay, you said he.
Yeah, Mike, I agree. Let her get in the car and then arrest her. But the thing is they can't do it. They get in trouble for doing that. But I think it'll be interesting. I don't know what everybody thinks is going to end up happening here, but again, this is a culture of resisting arrest, resisting authority, resisting. And I understand the argument that, well, what if you have a dictator and they make you do it? You know, okay, we're not there. And that's not what this is. What it is, it's people who are resisting police just doing their job and saying, hey, you know, we're giving you a shot. Call your husband, call somebody to come pick you up so you don't get your car. and she just wants to give him a problem the entire time.
Just had surgery and he can't drive, right?
I'll call Captain Gitman right now.
There's no Captain Gitman.
He's here at my
Nice
phone.
pot lover, nice one.
Well, go ahead.
There's no Captain Gitman that works for Ken.
He works for Kent City.
No, he doesn't.
Bye. Have a good day.
Well, explained it all you could.
Yeah, it is what it is at this
Kent
point.
City Police Officer. He reports to you.
Okay, I'm not going to do a poll, but does everybody think that she's going to leave and get in her car?
Not accurate.
Or not?
It's totally accurate.
Okay.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic.
All right, do you have all the stuff you need? Purse, phone, you got your phone.
0619.
You got everything you need.
Is not available. Please record your message.
Captain Gitman, call me back. It's Ellen Glickman.
You have a lanyard on your right side under your jacket, if that's what you're looking for.
Nope. I'm looking for my office keys. You guys f***ed me up. Thank you.
Are you going to be able to call anyone for me?
No, are you?
Okay, I'll take this one.
No, you would not take my.
All right, well, right now you're under arrest.
I'm calling my husband. Stop.
Okay, just relax. You're under arrest.
No, I'm not.
I've made my decision. You are under
I'm
arrest.
calling my husband.
Put your hands behind your back.
No, I'm calling my husband. Stop. Let go.
Oh, here we go.
I'm calling my husband.
So here comes the resisting arrest. Okay, and once again, the point of me showing this video is this is what people like this think that they can do. Drunk or not, doesn't matter.
Husband.
Put your hands behind your back.
I'm calling my husband.
Stop.
You have
Please
no
stop.
right to do this. Stop.
Yes, I do.
I'm calling my husband. Stop. I'm calling my husband.
Too late.
Stop it. You have no right. Stop it. You have no right to do this. Let go.
Ma'am, you're
Let
gonna
go.
get hurt. Come on.
Just
no.
relax.
I'm calling my husband. Stop this. You have no.
Too late. We have a responsibility to do this, not just a right. We have a responsibility to
Can
make
you
sure
call
you're
my
not driving.
husband?
No.
You did not do a breathalyzer.
I don't need to.
Ma'am, we can
Excuse
smell
me.
it. You're the way you're acting.
I'm sorry. You have no right to do. Excuse me. You have no right to. I'm sorry. You did one. You did not do Miranda.
Hold on.
Two.
I don't
have to do
read
Miranda.
Excuse me. Excuse me. My husband. Excuse me. Excuse me. Stop it right now. Right now. Excuse me. Stop this. Stop this right now. Stop. Excuse me.
You want to stand up?
No. No. Take my phone right now.
Ready?
We'll come get it.
Let's stand up.
Sir. Take my phone right now.
I'll grab it.
All right.
Sirs.
Walk.
Sir.
Walk.
What's up?
You have no right to do this.
I do.
No, you don't.
I already explained. Walk.
No. No.
Walk now.
No. No.
Dude. I mean, tell me that's not what the culture is today, and tell me that's not what's going on in Minnesota right now. Tell me those things aren't connected. And I know all the psychos in the chat are going to go, "Oh no, it's it's the ISIS fault." But this is exactly the people that are out there protesting. It doesn't matter if it's an ICE agent and it doesn't matter if it's the police in Ohio. It's you don't get to tell me what to do. I'm going to do what I want to do, and I'm going to resist arrest. I mean, it's crazy. And she's a college professor and a director. You see the size of the office that she has. She probably gets paid $250,000 a year, maybe more, maybe a lot more. You got people in the chat probably would know. So she's teaching kids and molding kids. And a lot of them that are out there protesting right now in Minnesota are students of professors like this. And she's encouraging, she's encouraging them over the cops. You can resist. If you don't like the law or you don't like what's happening, just resist. And that's why law abiding, we're in an anarcho-tyranny. I've been saying that for a very long time. I love the chat. But we live in an anarcho-tyranny where somebody like this, or the protesters more specifically, are out there and they get away with breaking into federal vehicles, breaking the law, all this different stuff. But the ones who, they try to do everything they can to follow as much as the law as they possibly can, are abused and arrested and sent to jail for minor infractions. But major infractions, nothing happens to them.
You have no right to do this.
Walk.
This is bullshit.
I agree.
I completely agree.
I'm calling my husband.
We wish you would have before.
Could you please call my husband right now?
I don't know. I can't.
Could you please call him?
No.
Can you
Stop.
Stop.
Just walk.
No.
All you gotta do is walk.
No. Call him right now.
No.
Don't act like a child on the side of this road. Walk to the car right now. This is ridiculous.
I'm sorry.
Stop it.
I'm really sorry.
It's okay.
You're walking to this car right
No,
here.
I'm walking to my.
You're not walking to
She's
your
gonna
car.
walk to her car still.
Can you please call my husband?
No.
No, I'm really. Stop this. Call my husband. Please call my husband.
Stop.
Can you call my husband right now? Right now.
You can call him when you're being booked in.
I'm not being booked.
You are.
Can you call my husband? No.
You see also, by the way, I showed this yesterday. There was a guy who's trying to park in Minneapolis, and a bunch of people surrounded protesters and told him he couldn't park there, and that he needed to rent a different vehicle because the vehicle looked too much like ICE. So they were actually acting as if they were police. They were acting as if they ran the town. And this woman, what she's saying is every single time they're saying, look, you got to get in the car. She's like, no, I'm not doing it. No. Call my husband. She's barking orders at police that have her under arrest. She's still not getting it. At some point, you would think that she would at least like sort of sober up and realize, it's over, but she's not. And this, once again, it's a parallel to what's going on in Minnesota. It's the same people. I don't have to listen to you. I don't have to listen to law enforcement. I can do whatever I want. And if you don't like it, shut the F up. Or, and then you just see the vitriol, you see the arrogance and the violence and the words that come out of their mouth, the psychoticness of of these people. And I said yesterday, I blame Ronald Reagan for shutting down all of the insane asylums. We don't have insane asylums anymore because of that. And so you have these people that are running around. And not only that, you have this woman who's a professor making, somebody said you're probably more than 250 plus with this level of arrogance. Pot lover, yeah. I mean, making just insane amounts of money and then indoctrinating their kids.
Please take my cell phone. I'm really sorry for being an asshole.
So it's not
Well,
because
now all of a sudden- now all of a sudden she's
it's because
sorry.
you're drunk.
I'm not drunk.
You are.
No, I'm not. Please take my phone. Please take my phone.
I already have
Absolutely
your phone.
I'm sorry for being an asshole.
It has nothing to do with that.
I'm being an asshole.
Regardless, it has nothing to do with it.
Can you take these things off of me?
No.
Take these things off of me right now. Right now. Guys, I'm being a take my phone right
Yeah,
now.
she's being a diva.
Right now.
She was about to say I'm being a diva.
Right now.
Go ahead and have a seat in the car.
No, I'm not.
Yes. Sit down.
No.
Yes.
No.
Thank you.
Guys, take my phone right now.
I have your phone.
Take my phone.
I have your phone.
Can I have my phone right now?
No.
No, please. Guys, seriously. Can I have my phone right now?
No, you can't have your phone. Sit down.
Please call Harold.
That's wild.
Hello.
Hold on a minute.
Thank you so much.
Take your seatbelt off.
Thank you so much. Sir, I've worked here 28 years. Can I speak to somebody who's worked here a long time? Because...
Hold on. We're going to walk this way. This way. Come on.
Can I speak to somebody who's been here a long time, please?
You can speak to somebody in just a minute.
Sir?
What does that do? Let me speak to somebody who's been here a long time, please. This just gets worse and worse.
I'm really humiliated and upset.
That's why I tried to explain it to you so we wouldn't have to go through this.
Can you take this off of me, please? I'm not going anywhere. Please
No,
take this.
we will in here. Once we get in here. Come in here. Take a right. Take a right.
I'm not doing this.
You're not doing what?
Whatever you want me to do.
You're not going to do whatever I want you to do?
No.
Well, then you're not going to come out of your cuffs. You're not going to do what I want you to do.
I've been here 28 years. Can you please?
Have a seat. Have a seat.
No, I'm not having a seat.
Ma'am, have a seat. I don't want to make you have a seat.
I know who you are.
Yeah, I know who you are too.
Whoa,
Have a
wait.
rough night?
No, I'm not.
She knows who she is. So she says, I know who you are. And she says, I know who you are too. What could this be about?
I'm fine.
Ma'am,
Everything's
have a
good. Can you take this off me, please?
No.
That's not good.
Hello. Hi, how are you? I'm good. She's still up and down, agitated-wise. I strongly recommend you just taking her home instead of letting her try to drive. She's going to try to go back and drive her car. No. We've explained it to her a lot of times. I appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, of course.
I will. If you want to come wait in the lobby, I'll bring her out to you. Here's your date. Okay, here's today's date. Here's your charge, disorderly conduct, and it's because of intoxication. This is the important part down here, your court date. You're gonna come out here and take a right.
Hey, dear.
Mom, come, let's go home. Thanks, sir. Thank you. All right, have a good night.
Court records indicate this suspect, Ellen Glickman, was charged with disorderly conduct due to intoxication. However, 2 months later, as part of a plea agreement, after completing community service and paying court costs, her charge was fully dropped. Shortly after this, Ellen paid a visit to the police station in this new, never-before-seen body cam footage.
I'm Lieutenant Campbell. How can I help you?
I'm Ellen Glickman. Nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
I wanted to chat with, do you know who the officers were that night?
Yes, Officer White and Officer Womack.
So what would be the best way of chatting with them?
What kind of conversation are you wanting to have with them?
Peaceful. Yeah. I think there was errors on both sides.
Well, I'd have to...
Excuse me? Do you see this? Errors on both sides? So I thought that what this was going to be is she was going to come in and say, you know what, I'm sorry. I want to apologize. But no.
I disagree on that.
You do?
So, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
They were doing their jobs and potentially could have saved your life by not letting you drive.
Well,
if you disagree with that, that's fine.
I do.
But that's not our stance. So.
I wasn't drunk.
I was not inebriated.
Okay. If that's fine.
You weren't there?
This is unbelievable. Now, I said before, not knowing this, that, you know, you can kind of cut some people some slack because they're drunk. So they normally would, you know, they're doing something they normally wouldn't do. But again, I will draw the parallel. Okay? The parallel is this isn't the same individual that's out doing the protest right now in Minneapolis. Same person. Same group of people, same mindset, same arrogance, same violence. Hers was a little less because she's a woman, an old woman, a senior, boomer. But the younger ones who have the same entitlement, the same I can resist arrest, it doesn't matter. I mean, these guys were doing, you cannot argue, anybody here in this chat, I don't care who you are, you cannot argue that those cops gave her every possible chance imaginable to get out of the situation. And she refused it. And then after getting arrested, comes back and says what they did was wrong.
No, I was not there.
Okay, so there was a lot of, he was home with cancer and was post-op for about 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I was not intoxicated. I was sleep deprived. I had a drink. I have PTSD from y'all. My ex-husband was a cop.
Okay.
So there's a lot of stuff you didn't know. I was not given the opportunity to discuss. And
so what does that have to do with it? So her ex-husband was a cop, so she had PTSD. So that's why she acted the way that she did. Do you hear this? And again, this is a director at Kent State University, a university professor who's in a leadership position at a major university. Kent State is, you know, I mean, it's well known for the protests, you know, well known for protests against Vietnam.
You were given many opportunities, and you did not take advantage of any of them.
Okay.
And from this point, it's gone through court. It's done, over with. There's no reason to have a conversation with those officers.
well, sir, I'm an academic and I like chatting and talking and revisiting.
I'm an academic. See, there's your problem. I'm an academic, so I know better. So I'm going to sit there and have a conversation. And once again, what's the conversation going to be? It's all on camera. Just like everything that's going on in Minneapolis is all on camera. What kind of conversation are you going to have?
That's who I am.
Perhaps we can make an appointment with your police chief.
Pardon me?
I say perhaps we can make an appointment with your chief.
Right. If you have a seat, I'll have his secretary see when he's available.
All right, thank you.
This is unreal.
He's not available today, but he said to reach out and via email, and he will schedule something.
Okay. Thank you very much.
No problem. Have a good day.
You too.
You too. No problem.
Ellen has been working at Kent State University since 1995, joining the faculty after completing her doctoral studies and previous academic and research positions. She eventually became the director of the School of Health Sciences at Kent State. On Rate My Professor, Ellen's ratings are all 1 out of 5 with high difficulty. Reviews from her students also recommend to avoid her classes, with many of them saying she strays off topic to talk about herself. She has all.
There you go. Wow.
Also posted an image on social media saying most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. Advice that she seems to have forgotten during the body cam footage. According to local reporting from Kent Stater, after the incident in the body cam footage, she was removed from her administrative role as director. Kent Stater has also reported that a university spokesperson confirmed that she remains employed as a faculty member at Kent State. We reached out to Ellen for comment regarding the incident in the body cam footage. However, she declined to comment.
Remember, just because you're book smart doesn't mean you have wisdom. You ever notice how fast people forget the law the second they think their title makes them untouchable? Because in this clip, you don't just see intoxication, you see entitlement with a resume, the kind that says, I'm important so the rules don't apply to me. And that mindset is not rare anymore, it's spreading. See, a lot of people don't mind the law until it tells them no. Then it turns into attitude, excuses, and dismissive little comments. Like the badge is just an inconvenience and it's the officer's job to work around their status. But the street doesn't care if you're a doctor, a boss, a teacher, or a cop. Drunk is drunk. And when she tries to pull away, drop to the ground, and make it difficult, that's the real tell, because that's not confusion, that's control. That's actually someone realizing that their name doesn't carry weight when it comes to the law. Title doesn't make you safer, it actually makes you more dangerous when you start believing you're above consequences. Because the law isn't disrespect, it's protection. And the second you think you're too important to follow it, you're exactly who it's made for.
That truer words could not have ever been spoken. And again, I draw the parallel to what's going on in Minnesota, that the entitlement and the people in the chat that you see that are saying that the ICE is bad because they have been able to get away with whatever they want to get away with. And people like this is just a perfect example of, they're going to fall to the ground. They're going to resist arrest because then their entitlement no longer protects them because the cops are going to arrest you anyway, and they can't handle that. And that's why the violence erupts and why all this stuff is happening. And that's why it's so important right now that, this stuff has to be cracked down upon. And that's why what's going on in Minnesota has to be dealt with, because it is spreading, like this guy said. This type of entitlement is spreading. This type of violence is spreading and has to stop. All right, guys. Thank you. I'm going to shut it down for this afternoon. I may be back later on today, but we had quite a few people in here. I appreciate it. Those that are in here, before I shut it down, make sure that you subscribe before I shut down the stream. And that way you are notified of when I go live again. I appreciate the discussion. And thanks again for everybody being here. But again, be sure to subscribe, and then you click the notification bell. So when I do go live again, you are notified and you know what is going on. Thank you again, people in the chat. I appreciate it. Thanks for participating. And I will see you next time.